Hi friends, thanks for joining me. It's Morag here with a new layout using the Voyage collection, which is a fun collection of elements which would be perfect for cruising. This is my first layout in this collection, and I've only been on one cruise, let me tell you. It was for my honeymoon. We went around the Caribbean for a week before we got married in the Dominican Republic. And I thought it would be perfect to use this collection because it was in the days before I started scrapbooking. So as you can see here, we've got beautiful elements that would be perfect to document our travels. So these little icons, you get little 2 cruise ships, that beautiful anchor, 2 life buoys and 2 portholes. So that would be fun to decorate your pages. And this one is just cruising, as you can see, and life on deck. And I was umming and ahhing what to put on this particular layout. I'm using the Vintage Seas collection from Simple Stories, which is obviously just perfect for a cruise. It's actually quite vintage and it has lots of elements. I should mention actually, you can see me trying to poke out the elements or the kind of spare bits there. I've lost my pokey tool. I'm always losing pokey tools around here. So I ended up using my fingers and a nail pick, I think it was. Don't recommend that. So those are the few elements, and I'm going to use Bon Voyage on this particular layout, I think. And I've gone ahead and cut out the cut file from this collection, which is also of a cruise ship. Oh, it took me ages to make that cut file. I'm very slow. But you know when you want things absolutely perfect. So one thing I do with the cut files is, because I find this a pain when I buy cut files from elsewhere, that you have to go and make the bits that go inside your cut file. So that blue background there, for example. So generally speaking, when you buy cut files, if you wanted to do that, you would just fussy cut it out, or you would go and weld it yourself in your software. So I've done the hard work for you and supplied that inside your cut file, as I did with the anchor that you can see there. So I've cut one out in red, one in blue, because I wasn't sure which one I wanted, and also your palm tree. So it just makes it really easy for you to what was the word I'm looking for? To create with. Thank you. As I say, because you can do this yourself, which I've done in the past with cut files, but this way it's just super easy for you. Just when you've opened up your cut file, just take out the bits and pieces, put them onto different canvases for each colour. So I've done, for example, I open the cruise ship file. I've got one canvas or file with the actual main cruise ship, which is the light blue. I did one with the dark blue and then one in green. So effectively I have 3. Oh, and one in the red. So effectively I've just created 3 blank projects, and then just dragged and dropped the different colours onto each one. And I've colour coded them so you can see easily which parts go with which. So I'd love to hear if you find them easy to use. That is my sincere wish, that you find them nice and easy to use, and you enjoy using them as well. So I'm using prized ribbon here, I think, to just colour in some of those little waves, and I'm just going to layer those up over the bottom of my ship. And I've just cut them in white because I was really being lazy to to create them in lots of different colours. So all I did was cut them in white, and as you can see, just inked them. And because I've got that big lighthouse from the paper, I want to use that in the background while I put the cruise ship in front. And I was just deciding between just cruising and Bon Voyage. I'm just speeding things up a little bit now because actually most of the hard work is done. It was all about that cut file. So it was really easy once you've got that in place and you really know what you want to do. So I've just matted onto one of the pattern papers. They're beautiful papers, but I really can't see myself using that huge whale just as a background and then plonking my photos on top. So it was difficult to choose which ones to forgo, so he had to go really. And I've just inked my edges just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension. And again, just going around with my finger dauber, just very lightly on those edges. And that will just give it a little definition and that 3D effect. So that is really simple. I'm just mounting it onto foam tape, just so it's off the page. And I just really like it when you get a little bit of shadow. And I just want to put some C down the bottom. I have got a stencil that came out last year with some waves on it. But really, I just thought, oh, I just need simple because it's quite vintage already. I think it would have got lost if I just did ink. So I've just used one of the pattern papers there. And I'm going to mount my title. I did decide on Bon Voyage. And because I put the ship onto foam tape, I just need to level that off with a bit of foam tape behind my perspective. See how simple is that? Look, I think this was one of those quick layouts, which is very, very rare in my world. I'm going to take days, hours, or anything's possible. What is more unusual is to do a layout start to finish, especially on video, start to finish within kind of an hour or so. So I like it when that happens. I feel like I should have a ticker tape parade when it happens because it's so rare. So I'm just going to use some of the ephemera there just to balance off my layout. So if you can imagine my ship's coming from the left, travelling towards the right, I kind of just want things to flow towards the right just so there is a nice flow to the page. And I've just used some of the, is that sea, I have no idea what that is, sea ferns, coral, who knows. They're quite big, quite strong, so I've tucked a lot of mine under my photo. And then I've just taken one of the life preservers or the life buoys or whatever they are. And I've just tied a little bit of twine around the top of that one. So you can see it's etched to look like the rope. So I've just added a little bit more just for a bit of texture. And we're already sticking down, look at that. Miracles never cease. I think I forgot to take off the vinyl there, so my trusty glue hopefully will sort that out, but some of that vinyl can be a bit like Teflon, not stick. So I'm just trying to find some ephemera to go on there or some stickers. I did get the collection pack, so I've got a fair few bits and pieces. And I'm also going to use paper snips number 7. So we have an offer to buy the complete collection, and in that complete collection you not only get your perspectives but the coordinating paper snips. I need to put my teeth back in. And this is how I like to use them. So I like to cut them all out first, as you can see there. Well, I've got my trimmer out. And then I will snip them as I use them and store the rest in some old packaging. So they're just handy to do. So I just find it's a bit of a fiddle if you have to go and cut them every time you want to use them. So, but rather than cut them into individual phrases, I just do that as I go. And something we've introduced onto the paper snips from this one, I think it was, this is my first one, is the epoxy flare. So you could do a sort of DIY epoxy flare. And I was a bit fast there, but all you do is punch out your paper snips using a 1-inch punch. And if you buy the collection, you'll get three of the epoxy flare to match. And we do have epoxy flare in the shop if you want to buy that separately. But basically you punch out your paper snips and then you just pop, it's just a clear domed sticker and it just looks like flare, but it's very thin and you get a nice glossy finish to it, so it does look great. And I've used the anchor stencil from the collection kit too. Just add a little bit of texture down the side there. And I think that is going to wrap it up. I'm just adding a little bit more ink here and there in that prized ribbon, just because sometimes it can just not show up, to be honest. So I'm just adding a little bit more. And then I'm adding a paper snip then to go over the life belt. Still don't know what you call it. But I do love this paper snip because they just add a little touch of journaling, and I do spend hours trying to think of the right words. And that about sums up the layout. As you can see, it came together really quickly and easily. Absolutely love the collection, so I can't wait to play again. And you can find the cut file and all the perspectives in the shop right now. And you'll find that under travel as well as under the new section. And when it stops being new, it'll be under travel. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you like it and give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.